ഹലോ ഗായ്സ്, അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഡോലു ആൻഡ് വെരുവിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം. നമ്മൾ ലണ്ടനിലേക്കാണ് പോകാൻ പോണത്. നമ്മൾ പോകുന്ന ബസ്സിന്റെ പേര് നാഷണൽ എക്സ്പ്രസ് എന്നാണ്. നമ്മൾ ബസ്സിലാണ് ലണ്ടനിൽ പോകാൻ പോണത്. ഞങ്ങൾ ആദ്യമായിട്ടാണ് ലണ്ടനിൽ പോണത്.
Thanks for coming. At least I know which 5 people will be getting a life jacket in an emergency, so that's good to know. Okay folks, as I say, we're not professional tour guides, so don't expect too much, alright? If you do think I'm lying to you or get anything wrong that I point out along the way, you're most probably right, so keep your chits up. Now I understand not everyone's first language on board is English, so what I'll do, as I'm trying to do now, is talk nice, slowly and clearly, just so everyone can try to understand me a bit better, alright? So that's what we'll do. We're going to push the go. Don't get me started, that's another cruise. Now a lot of people here in London fascinated about the property price, especially alongside these apartments on our river. Now I'll just tell you quickly, a lot of people ask, see these square fronted glass apartment there to your right? They went on sale at the start of the pandemic a few years ago now, and for a 1-bedroom ground floor apartment, ladies and gentlemen, over there to your right, it would only set you back £9 million. That's how expensive. Of course, the higher you go, the more expensive. You can see to your right there the white stone building, the clock face at the top, the 6 black chimneys on the roof, the old Water Garden Customs House building. Inside of this building, where the government of our country tell us that all the illegal contraband made its way into leave those chimneys. But I have been told that the Christmas star parties are phenomenal. I think they're still going on, so I wonder where it all goes to. To your left, that's the Shard of Glass, last year the tallest building to stand in Western Europe, over 1,017 feet tall, designed by Renzo Piano, the Italian architect. Now the apartments inside of the Shard today start on the 75th floor. They're now at an estimated value of over £50 million each. will.i.am, the music producer, recently purchased one of those bridge. Absolutely stunning, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? People tell me every day they travel thousands of miles around the world to see London Bridge. Well, there you go, that is it. It is the 5th London Bridge to span this river in over 2,000 years, when the Romans came to shore and they built the ancient city of Londinium. You may know what happened to the ones before this, an old nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down. One fell down, one sunk into the mud, one was pulled down. The bridge before this, it was sold to an American businessman for $2.5 million, and that stands over Lake Havasu, Arizona, as a tourist attraction. To your left there, you can see Pickford's Wharf. Look in between the gap of the buildings, you see the back end of an old pirate ship. Now this is a working replica of Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind. The replica you see has done more sea miles than the original. The original was put on task by Queen Elizabeth I to go around the Spanish Isles stealing golden treasure from the Spanish Armada ships. And when they arrived, as we pass beneath this bridge, this is the Cannon Street Railway Bridge, one for the adults on board. Look underneath the bridge on the riverside, you'll see these glass box windows. This is a London's 5-star health spa. They built the spa facing the river and not the roadside to stop spine eyes looking in. Well, clearly, if you look, they forgot about us boats that pass every couple of seconds, because you do get to see some semi-naked people sitting back and relaxing in that spa. And if you looked inside those windows with me then, ladies and gentlemen, you'll probably believe me when I tell you this. Some days are much better than others, believe me. Like then, trust me, you wish you'd have a look, scarred for life. Some days, the sights are so amazing, we just turn the boat around for a couple of hours till they go home. That's how good it gets. So you can see the barge there, full of grey containers, currently sitting on the shoreline. Now, the river, as I said, the tide is leaving London. The barge is sitting on the shore, so they couldn't pick it up for a good few hours. You see, the tide leaves London for 7 hours. It will reach its lowest point. It then floods back into London for 5 hours only. These tides happen twice a day, but just in 5 hours, the tide here in the capital where we are will reach a height of 6 to 8 metres. It's a very powerful and dangerous, fast-flowing river, and that's why it does look rather dirty. Well, it is, it's winter. It's now the only building in London to have a thatched roof after the Great Fire was made illegal to do so. Still to this day, you can go inside the Globe and watch one of Shakespeare's many, many plays, the likes of Romeo and Juliet and, well, all the others that no one else can ever remember, but just a small price of only £5, which is great value for live entertainment in London today. The bridge we're passing beneath, the Millennium Footbridge, some of you may know its nickname, it is the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. It got its nickname, the Wobbly Bridge. It had its grand opening in June 2000 by the late Queen. The bridge, it had its grand closing the very same day, 2 hours later, by London's police force. See, people was walking across that bridge, falling over, being sick, even hanging on for dear life. The bridge started to sway 4 foot from side to side. And of course the architect didn't blame it on the way he designed his bridge. He did, however, blame it on how aggressively us Londoners, but sadly, of course, like most things here in London, it wasn't finished on time. It missed the Olympics altogether and opened 2 years too late. If you look at the roof though on this bridge, this station has a funny shape to it. It's actually fully solar panelled now, so where the station gets over 75% of its incoming power from. It's now one of the most expensive bridges in the country, and in London of course. It cost over £500 million to build. Thank you to lovely taxpayers in this country. We built a railway crossing into London to hold the Dover and Chatterley into the Blackfriars Monastery. This is the Blackfriars Road Bridge. Surprisingly, it is now the lowest bridge we will pass beneath on our river trip today. If you come back in about 5 hours time, 6 hours, we will struggle to fit through this bridge when the tide blacked out windows, pinnacle at the top. That is the old City of London School for Boys, where the past PMs of our country, including Winston Churchill, took up their early years of education. Now if you look beneath the green roof there, in between those 4 arches on the building, you may be able to see, if you've got a keen eye, those 4 statues or figures of this country's finest men. Now from left to right, those statues are John Milton, Isaac Newton, William Shakespeare, and the one far right with a ball at the end of his foot, that is David Beckham, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? Of course it's not, just seeing who's listening. Good to see there's a few of you still. You know I was only joking, because if you've ever heard David Beckham speak before, you know he's never spent a day scored his life lesson. So you can see the old coffer down there. That is the biggest civil engineering project that our country has ever taken on board. It is to rebuild London's old Victorian time sewage system. Now it was originally built in London to deal with a population of only 2 million people. And as they here in London, what they know, of course, every year is growing, the population is just over 11 million people. So it's a massive tunnel now, bored beneath the Thames riverbed, joining up at different parts. It's one of the biggest projects and most expensive. Floating livery hall for master mariners. That just means she's now a floating pub for retired sea captains. Have to spend at least 25 years at sea to join. King Charles himself is actually the head chief of that club today, passed down by his father Philip. Sticking with the Royals, as I told you at the start, we are watermen and lightermen. We're now known as King's Watermen, before the King, Queen's Watermen, depends who's in fighting for King and country. And of course, as the ladies of London built this bridge, it was the only bridge here in London on our Great River that was finished on time and complete well under budget. So well done to the girls, you built a fantastic bridge. Not to mention they chose the most expensive stone they could as well to build it. It was the original over there on the Victoria Embankment. The new one you can see flying the flag just past Waterloo Station on the south bank there. But you see the clock at the top, that's now the biggest clock face here in London, and it's bigger than the one at Westminster, the Big Ben most people call it. Not by much, but it is bigger. Just to give you an idea how large that clock is, you see the large minute hand, that's over 14.5 feet long. It is so heavy, believe it or not, it takes it a full 60 minutes to complete a full circle of that clock face. Good to see two people are still listening, thanks. I only come at work because I talk to myself indoors. Now the bridge is older than the City of London itself, over 3,500 years old now. The bridge in front of us, Charing Cross Railway Bridge, joins up the West End of London. That's Charing Cross Station to your right, with Waterloo at South East London to your left. The only bridge you'll pass under and over a railway line. Above us, as I say, Charing Cross, below the boat, the two-door. It should be. It's called the London Eye. Now the London Eye, many years ago of course, was the largest in the world. I think it's in the top 5 now, but does stand at a height of 450 feet tall. Now looking all around the outer edge of the eye, you can see those glass pods or capsules. It has boroughs here in London today. And on a clear sunny day, which we haven't seen in London for a very long time, from the top pod you can see up to 30 odd miles in all directions over London. That is actually as far upriver in front of us as past Windsor Castle. That's about 25 miles from where we are now, up the river. Downriver as far as the QE2 bridge, the Dartford crossing down in Essex. Now believe it or not, the London Eye is now known the second most popular destination anywhere in the world to propose or get married to a loved one. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? The second most popular place. Queen Elizabeth Tower, renamed in 2012 to mark the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. Big Ben is just the name of the 13.5 ton bell that rings inside of the tower itself. As I say, it chimes on the hour and the hour only. You'll hear the Westminster chimes on 15, 30, and 2:15. Big Ben on the hour. Special occasions here in London, things like New Year's Eve, the King's birthday, my birthday, and a few days that aren't too important after that, but there you go. So we're just coming into the pier. We'll ask you kindly now, take your last photos and then remain